People frequently have asked me some questions that I'm going to answer in today's video about a nose job. Where did I get mine done, and what should they know about preparing for a nose job? And so if that is you, if you're one of the people that have always wanted a nose job, but you just want to know how to prepare for a nose job, then stick around with me. First thing that I'm going to say is that the nose is a very delicate organ, and so you want to make sure that you go to a licensed professional, a board certified surgeon to perform your surgery on your nose. The first question I'm going to answer is, does insurance cover it? In most states in the United States, insurance doesn't cover a nose job if it's not considered medically necessary. In my case, it was considered medically necessary. I had like a few medical issues that had to get fixed, and so in deciding to fix those medical issues, I talked to my surgeon about really reshaping my nose, because I kind of felt insecure about my nose, and that was something that we both talked about. And he kind of just slid that in the cost, and the insurance paid for that. So if that's you, that might be another way to get yourself a nose job. The second question that I'm going to answer is, what is the recovery like? The recovery for me was very, very hectic. I feel like after surgery, the surgery took about 6 hours for just, the surgery took about 4 to 6 hours for just the nose. And then after recovery, I remember the second and so after recovery, you have the stings in your nose, and for some doctors, the stings stay in for a week. In my case, the doctor that performed mine wanted the stings to stay in for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, I tell you guys, I was breathing through my mouth. It was very, very uncomfortable. I hated every bit of it. But yeah, I was breathing through my mouth. So, but the second and fourth day was really very agonizing for me, because I remember just not being able to talk and just breathing through my mouth and just having really panic attacks if I was ever gonna breathe through my nose again. The stings are very uncomfortable. They're very bloody. So, sometimes you have like debris inside them, and, cleaning out those stings was a lot of work. It's also very painful, so you have to be like on painkillers like all around the clock. Y'all, a nose job is not a very easy thing, because people just look at people and say, oh, she got a nose job. Like, people don't understand the amount of pain and work that goes into just having a nose job. And so after 2 weeks, when my stings were finally removed, that was the first time that I remember breathing fresh air, and I felt like a newborn baby. I was like, that was literally my reaction the moment I had fresh air for the first time. It was like heaven. That's just the way I'm gonna explain the feeling. It was literally just like heaven. And then the recovery period after the stings got removed was also another thing, because your nose is still taking shape. So when you're bathing, you have to like bathe a certain kind of way. You really can't pour water anyhow. And then you also have to like rub your cream a certain kind of way. You can be so hard on the nose. And then because of the trauma to the nose, I had like a lot of dead skin on my nose that took over 2 months to fall out. So yep, if you're trying to have a nose job surgery, these are all the things you have to consider. First of all, the stings are very uncomfortable. You're not going to breathe through your nose for 1 to 2 weeks, depending on your surgeon and the procedure he used. 2, you got to keep your stings very clean, because they're uncomfortable. That's just all I'm gonna say. 3, when the stings get removed, that's when the recovery starts, and then you have to be careful the way you sleep. Like, literally, I had to sleep on my back for 2 months, and I was always sleeping on my side before. Sleeping on my back was a whole new learning technique for me. For the first 2 days, I couldn't sleep because I just wasn't used to sleeping on my back, and every time I tried to sleep, with the fact that I wasn't breathing, it was uncomfortable. I had to start taking a lot of sleeping pills on the 3rd day just so I could get some sleep. It's not an easy surgery. Now let's talk about the cost. How much did this surgery cost? Usually the surgery could range anywhere from 6K to 10K, depending on who does it for you. The best places to get this surgery definitely are in California, where they have like a lot of board certified surgeons that basically know what they're doing. But then you have some of very good surgeons in New York, and I know some very good surgeons in the Boston area as well. So wherever you want to get yours, just make sure that they're board certified, so you know he doesn't use your nose for an experiment. The last question I'm going to answer for this video is, what advice can I give to those preparing for a nose job surgery? The first advice I'm going to give is, 1, buy yourself a lot of cotton wool, because when you are out of the operating room, you're gonna need those cotton wool to clean out the amount of mucus and the amount of debris that's gonna come out of your nose. It's gonna be a lot of blood. So just get yourself a lot of supplies to clean all of that, because I know I didn't get myself a lot of supplies, and I kind of ran out on supplies, and it was even more uncomfortable. The second thing I'm going to talk about is, get yourself a nasal spray. You're going to need that. Don't ask me why, but you're going to need a nasal spray. The third thing I'm going to talk about is, get prepared emotionally and get ready to deal with whatever depression that might come from having that's work done. Just get ready to deal with whatever depression could come from that, because you could get depressed. And the fourth thing I'm going to say is, of course, prepare for the surgery. Take your time off work. You might need about 6 weeks to recover. So, I would want to plan ahead so I don't have to be out of work for a long time. All right, this is all I'm going to say about my nose job. I tried to make the video very concise. If you have any comments about getting a nose job and whatever else I didn't mention that you wanted to know, just ask in the comment boxes, and I'll try to reply to every comment as soon as possible.